Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. I'm Harvey Freed, and we've got an unbelievable panel today. Harry Glantz joins us.
Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today.
Becky Alley, of course, top 1% of all originators. Hey, Becky, good morning.
Hey, happy Saturday, everyone. I think it actually might be a nice day. Hooray.
Yeah, it is in the monsoon season. Of course, we're bringing our special guest, Kirsten Kroh with Keller Williams out in Livingston County and the surrounding areas. Good morning, Kirsten.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming on. Again, I was fortunate enough to meet your team again a month or so ago. And really, I love the energy that you guys bring to the table. We're going to talk all about what's going on in your neck of the woods in this crazy buying frenzy, which is the home buying season of 2020, now 2021. And Harry, there's no doubt, I think 2022 is summing up to look sort of like 2021. The numbers are going to be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I want to tell you this, that I don't know how long this can go on forever because, as I said, and we've talked about it for the last 2 years, the market is irrational. It's exuberant, though, but it is irrational. We're seeing more homes come on the market. Maybe Kirsten can verify that for us out where she is. However, is that we're not seeing as many. When I say as many, we're still seeing a lot of overbidding. We're still seeing a lot of crazy contingencies. We're still seeing a lot of houses. And of course, house appreciation has gone up in our area about 17.4%. But I'll tell you, it still will be a very, very strong purchase 2022.
Kirsten, you see that inventory is peaking up a little, or are we just getting ready to get the kids now back to school? And of course, we're going to be in the classroom, hopefully, unless this variant gets out of control. But do you see the inventory picking up a little bit in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, we see it picking up quite a bit, but it's still kind of a little bit hairy. Those hot houses, they go obviously super quickly, but there's still some that are sitting for a little bit longer. And I feel like instead of getting those 60 showings and 30 offers, we're getting more of like the 10 showings with 2 strong offers or 3 strong offers, as opposed to it being completely irrational, which is how I feel like it has been.
Right. This summer's been rainy a little bit. And of course, that fell into a lot of our conversation about inspections. And I even mentioned to Harry in the podcast, I go, Harry, boy, us mortgage people sure talk a lot about these home inspections lately. But Kirsten, you and I had a little conversation about it. And it's really why you got in the industry. And Becky, we'll get right into you in the conversation right away here. But Kirsten, when you got in the industry, it was because you bought your first house VA. It was such an interesting story. I thought maybe we could touch on it just a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So my husband is a veteran, so we purchased our house on a VA loan. And as you know, like with a VA loan, you need a pest inspection and everything. And we were first-time home buyers, so we had no idea anything. And kind of how it was explained to us is that the sellers pick and pay for a pest inspection. So they picked and paid for the pest inspection. The pest inspector was supposed to be licensed and insured. We get possession of the house, and about 2 months later, we were in the laundry room and noticed a bunch of damage in the basement. Come to find out, it was termite damage. The termites had been there for at least 20 years. This was not disclosed to us. The pest inspector didn't have a license or insurance, and it just goes on. So it was a nightmare. We finally have everything taken care of, but it was around $160,000 worth of damage in our house.
That's huge. And Becky Alley, again, I brought it up to Harry last week. Becky, we sure do talk about these inspections. Kirsten buys her first house. Her husband serves in the military. I believe he's a Marine. And, they're just starting their lives off. You don't want to find out that you got a huge problem like this.
No, I mean, your inspection period is your opportunity to do your due diligence. But unfortunately, in Kirsten's situation, they did all their due diligence. It was just the sellers failed to properly disclose items. So they could have done everything right in that situation. But, you think, okay, you get a copy of the pest inspection, right? It says everything that you want it to say. But who's to think that the person that went out there, had their eyes closed, was signing a piece of paper? I mean, who knows? But it's sad that people like that are running businesses that are not, really they're not professionals out there. So that's why we kind of also preach it is important who you work with, who you surround yourself with, and the fact that is Kirsten's why, where, she doesn't want that to happen to somebody else. That speaks to that passion that she's going to have with all of her clients to make sure that what happened to her, like who's got $160,000 just laying in, off to the side to fix termites. I mean, you don't ever think when I'm buying a house, it could be infested with termites, right? And then so for something like that to happen. And I just want to touch on something personal with a transaction that's happening with me. buyer, they did their due diligence, and obviously it's monsoon. Hurricane Katrina comes every other week around here.
Right.
And there's literally a picture in the appraisal with water pouring into a specific spot in the basement, right? So it's a conventional loan. It was an investment property. And yes, conventional typically is as is. But if the appraiser goes out there and cites a health and safety concern, then the foundation or we have to find where the water is coming from. And the buyer was aware of the water because they did see a little bit in their inspection. But, when it came to the appraisal, it was a lot of push-pull who was going to do the foundation inspection. And unfortunately, between the buyer and seller and whose responsibility that was, they couldn't work it out. I mean, so you can go into a transaction with your eyes open, right? But that's key, is making sure that you're aware. And our job is to point out these things because we have to protect the clients, right? We don't want our buyers buying a home with us knowing that there could be something wrong in this house. And if he didn't see that water on the inspection, it was our job to say, hey, guess what? Maybe we caught this property on a bad day. There's clearly water in the basement. We got to get this figured out. And however you guys want to work it out, you can. But, that's what it's about, is just keeping your eyes open and surround yourself with good people that are going to bring that to your attention. So you just not are like, oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, home buying is really exciting and fun, and we make it fun at Capital Mortgage. And again, you get a good team like Kirsten involved. But again, we talk about this, we were talking about termite inspection. Pest inspections are not required on conventional loans. Boy, Harry, things could pop up anytime on a transaction. Go ahead with your story. And then, of course, back to Kirsten.
Yeah, Harvey, Kirsten, Becky, I will say this to you guys, that we get two kinds of comments about this show. We get the comment, well, we really love your show. You get a lot of information out there, a lot of great information. Then we get the comment, well, you guys talk about the same thing every week. Well, there's a reason why we talk about some of the same things every week. Because like in sports, we're on 97.1 FM, the sports talk show. In football in practice, they do blocking and tackling. In basketball in practice, you do layups and you play defense. And in baseball, you do all your throwing and your take batting practice every week, and you hit your cutoff man, do your specialty plays. In our business, the fundamentals are as follows. Don't waive an inspection. We talk about appraisals, and we talk about getting all of your documents in order up front. Those are the fundamentals of our business. And if we talk about it every week, it's because it still happens every single day, every single week of the year. That's why we do it, Harvey.
Kirsten, no doubt, especially in your area, we do run into well and septic. And again, these are additional inspections that families want to take care of ahead of time. We want them to be successful in their house. We want it to be such a great experience. They're referring their friends and family to us right away. And of course, you come into a lot of these older well and septic systems that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You sure do. So it's super important to get those inspections as well. I mean, having to replace a septic field could be anywhere $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So definitely not something that a new home buyer is going to want to, take on. So those inspections are absolutely, I never, ever, ever, ever under any circumstances recommend waiving an inspection. I don't think that any house is worth it. And I think if that's a determining factor on whether a seller is going to take an offer, if it's, neck and neck and they're the same offer and one is offering, asking for an inspection and the other one is waiving it, if you're willing to take the one that is, waiving the inspection, then is there something to hide? I don't know. I just don't think that any house is worth waiving an inspection in any way, shape, or form.
I see Harry shaking his head. Yes, we know of some things out there. And again, we're never going to throw anyone under the bus. But yes, there are houses on the market in certain areas. If it's on the market for an extra week or two, most likely there's already an inspection done on that house. And if you go back and you're not seeing any change in the seller's disclosure form, you got to ask the right questions to the listing agents. People can be as truthful as they want, but you got to be able to sort of pick and choose who's telling the truth in these things. These are very important. Again, you can weed out the people. You don't have to worry about what the truth is. Hire the right inspection guy. He knows what the truth is. He's got the scope. He can check out the sewer line for you. All right, we got a great show lined up for you. We're going to give you 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, 248-539-9797. If you need a pre-approval, you need to call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE. And when we come back, we're going to get into buying and selling everything A to Z.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
live in the studio, 248-539-9797. I'm Harvey Free. We got a great show. Harry Glanz, Becky Alley, and of course, Kirsten Kroh with Keller Williams, all out in Livingston County and all over the area. Kirsten, you're wonderful. You've got a great demeanor. I like your team. And the most important thing about what you bring into the show today is your little bit of a take on VA loans, because of course your husband served, your family has served in the military. And I know your girlfriend too, that you're part of your team, their husband served in the military. And we were talking off the air, what a great opportunity. VA is unlimited. So anyone out there, if you've got VA eligibility, we want you to call Capital Mortgage. We'll get you approved ahead of time. We'll go over all the details with you and truly break down what it costs to buy a house. Because Kirsten, sometimes you get that little bit of extra money on a VA loan where you can make up that appraisal gap. And that's what's going on in today's market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially, with a VA loan, it's zero down. So in a lot of cases, those VA loans, they have that, those veterans do have the extra money to come in over appraised value or something like that too.
248-539-9797. We'll dive right into some refinance conversation. Becky Alley, just want to throw it out there because these rates over the last 4 or 5 weeks, they look good again. They look like they were last year a little bit. So a lot of families who haven't taken advantage. Or Becky, how about those folks who did the cash out last year? They can come back to us and save money again.
Yeah, I actually have a couple, doing that. So obviously, there's a difference between, you don't want to refinance your house 40, 11 times, right, into the oblivion, right? But if it makes sense, we're here to, we're going to look at that for you. So yes, where we have been very spoiled. The pandemic has affected the rates in a positive manner for people to be able to take advantage, pull that cash out. If they decide they're going to stay versus go, they can now customize their home, to stay and make it exactly what they want it, to look like. So if they pull cash out last year because they wanted to renovate it, well, now you can get a lower rate on a rate and term and even shorten that term right now. So I actually have one that, did a cash out on a 30. The rates are so good right now on 15s. They're now refinancing rate and term as, on a 15-year. So everything is not cookie cutter. One size does not fit all. So that's where we're here, is to customize what makes sense for you depending on what your goals are. So you're going to call in, we're going to talk about it. We're going to see what your goals are. We're going to see what's going to check all the boxes. And then we're going to figure it out, because if you hear about the rates being low, chances are you missed the boat, right? So you got to be in the now, and it is hard to time that market. You can't get that perfect. It's like riding the stock market to buy low, sell high. It's hard to ride that way, but right now we are in a little bit of a, it's low right now. So definitely, if you're thinking about it, again, give us a call, give anyone a call. If it makes sense, we're here to answer any questions you have.
Great. Let's go back to the real estate side of things. Kirsten, the golf communities all around the country, they've always been exciting, but they sort of went dry. 2007, 8, 9, the recession kicked in. People didn't have extra money. The home values were really stinkers. I don't know. People are getting away from golf. Tiger Woods got out of the game maybe for a little bit, and that was it. But these golf communities are now popping up all over the country. And we have them here in Michigan, really, even in your backyard, in your counties. There's a lot of opportunities. They're gorgeous. Why not? Open spaces. They're green. They're beautiful. And people your age, the millennials, they're getting into these communities.
Yeah, we have tons of them out here, tons of them. And I'm very familiar with all of them around here and what they all have to offer. But yeah, a lot of millennials are getting into these houses right now. And that's a lot of buyers right now too. What we're seeing is that those first time home buyers are those millennials, and they're, they've saved some money and they can buy those, the median price of the home right now, which around here is around $375 is the median in Livingston County currently. So, those first time home buyers are purchasing those houses. And I think that's why we're the inventory, they're taking one off the market, but not putting another one on. So I do believe that's a reason about the inventory as well.
Famine or feast in that industry again, but it's definitely a feast time right now. And we're seeing more and more young people again. Golf has become really popular. Harry, this pandemic made golf really fun again, I guess. It's always fun for you, or when you're shooting at least under whatever you. I don't want to give away your handicap.
I'm such a bad golfer. I need to get my game up, because obviously it's something that you get into it. I feel as you get older, I'm going to start golfing, and I wish I would have because I suck right now. I gotta start now, so that way when I retire I can freaking kill it.
Harry, but it is a nice lifestyle. Again, whether you're young or old, you got the community, you get these pools, and that's what home ownership's about, is building strong communities.
Well, I think people want to be outside, Harvey. I think that's the big thing. And you know how it is, whether you're outside, whether you're playing golf, we're a big golf state. We have, I think we're top 5 in golf courses around the country still. You go up north, you want to play golf in the summer, or what if you stay around here, Harvey? I like to play softball too. So it's an outdoor activity. Whatever activities are outdoors, people want to do it because the pandemic forced us all outdoors and staying in open spaces, and golf has really picked up because, let's face it, last year at this time, it was one of the only things you could do. Businesses were still closed, and people started getting into more outdoor activity. And if golf's one of it, I'm all for it. Don't forget climbing, hiking, biking, all the other activities that people are doing, including old man softball.
All right. People have motivation to move for all different reasons. Kirsten, how about this one? We saw some crazy reasons last year. I needed to move because I needed more space in the backyard. The kids were at home. You didn't have to go to work. Everyone's working remote. But then also, how about moving for your pets? I love this one. The pets have a major role. That's right. The pets, those people in your house, the dogs, the cats. What is it? Something like 70% of American households own at least one pet. Well, I think that falls into the picture, and there's no doubt. I hear his dog's going to jump on the table there. Americans are willing to move. You're willing to make accommodations for your pet, probably before your kids in some cases.
Yeah, some people definitely are. I've got some requirements that are, it has to be this size yard. It has to be a fenced in yard. I have to have that for my dog. And I actually had a couple people move because they were, home, working from home and having the dog at home. They wanted to just be able to throw them out in the backyard, and they didn't have a fenced in yard. So I did have quite a few people.
Listen, I'm one to accommodate my children, my fur babies, as I like to call them. I got a 18-year-old little Chihuahua in diapers, living his best life. And I got his son and daughter that are 15, and they actually going to be 15 in like next week. So I got the fountain of youth with these animals over here. So yes, they have earned their right. Been with me since I was 21, so yes, I can definitely hear we're an animal friendly office. Even, if you come into our office, you're going to see someone's dog roaming around the office, visiting in everyone's doors. So it's all about the fur babies, 2021.
Kirsten, you finally got the house sold, and then they look at each other like, look, this isn't going to work out for the dog, You
Yeah.
thought you had it all wrapped up there, but hey,
if we didn't have the kids, it's the dogs. Yeah, we got to have a good spot for the dog.
Of course, what are families looking for in that? Of course, maybe a larger yard, outdoor spaces, parks, sidewalks. These are all the things that I want in my house, or, hopefully I do have already. Dog runs, and maybe even an outbuilding. More and more families, maybe even getting more than one pet, and considering some other creatures at the house, maybe some chickens or something like that. But again, pets do play a role in families looking for houses. And another motivation why someone might be moving, maybe they've outgrown their little old apartment condo conversion thing, or their small house, and they need more room. So just another motivation. Kirsten, give me something else. Hey, look, you got divorce and death. Families are getting bigger and bigger, and they might want to take that step right now in today's market.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people also, because obviously I'm in the Livingston County area, but again, I go everywhere. I have people that are, calling me from like the Wayne County area, looking to move out into the Livingston County area so that they're not in those neighborhoods and everything, so that they have that extra space. And I think that that's something that 2020, this whole pandemic has done, from being stuck inside, that everybody kind of wants some property now. I have so many people that are looking for at least an acre. I want at least an acre. I don't want any rules. I don't want to be on top of people. So I see a lot of people coming out this way because they want the property. So prices out here are now going up, obviously.
You said something right there. You said rules, right? So when you're talking about rules, like for anyone that's listening, it's if you have a property that's in association, right? There are certain rules. And even my cousin lives in a house with association, and the builder went around and said, you're supposed to have at least two evergreens in your yard, even though it's, so like that all adds up. And you're right. Like, when you buy your house, like, and you don't want to be in an apartment anymore, the last thing you want is someone to tell you what you need to do with your property. And part of it is they want you to maintain and do all those things, right? Yes. But maybe you don't want an evergreen in your yard. So that's where you're talking about, is you don't want to live by someone else's rules. You want to be able to, make your property how you want. It's nice, and pick your trees and get a weeping willow out there. I don't know, but I definitely hear that as far as associations. Some people are trying to get away from those and not feel like they're in a cookie cutter situation.
I'm glad you brought that up, Becky. Great conversation for home buyers out there. Always get a copy of the bylaws. We have so many of these site condos. I know Harry and I always get my hair in a bunch about that one, but there's no doubt that there's a problem out there if you don't know the bylaws and the master deed has all the information. In other words, you don't want grandpa's old 72 rusted out car on the driveway. These bylaws help maintain the equity in these subdivisions. They're good and they're bad. Look, association fees, no one wants to pay the money, but you want to maintain the roads, the sewers, the mailboxes, the common grounds. I can keep going on this stuff. Folks, when you're buying a house, you better get a professional team. When we come back, we'll talk about that. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, welcome back to the show. It's 9:30 here. Man, oh man, the last day of July. When you get into August, it feels like the summer's starting to leave us. Kids starting to get thinking about school, and kids go back to college on the earlier side. Well, you got to tune to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, where we give you great information about your mortgage. If you're looking to buy a house, again, call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank. I'm Harvey Freed, Harry Glanz, Becky Haley, top 1% of all originators, and Kirsten Kroh from Keller Williams joins us. So it's great to have you on here. And we got some good conversations going really this morning, and really always looking to protect yourself and your investment if you're looking at buying a home. Let's go out to the call, though. We got Deandra gave us a call from Southfield on a 203K call. This is a great call. Good morning, Deandra. You there? All right. Very good. Thanks for calling in. So are you looking to buy a house, or you already got the offer accepted and it's got to go 203K?
Okay, so
Go ahead,
there's not a limit to what you can do in the renovations. I mean, as long as you can afford it. But, if you're doing an FHA 2 or 3K, anything that's above that max loan limit of 356, you're going to be coming out of your pocket for that, right? And then you also want to make sure that any renovations that you're doing are actually adding value to the home. So let's just say you're buying a $100,000 house and you want to put $150,000 renovations, and one of those is, I don't know, finishing a basement. That might not give you that equity, that's going to, add that value to get you to 150,000 as appraised value, because you're closing on a property as is. The 203K, right now there's other ways to get the avenues, to work. And you also made a comment that, your agent was saying FHA is not the way to go, but then they're trying to push the 203K. And that's a little bit of a specialty program that would be a little bit more it's a little bit more difficult to get accepted than even just a standard FHA program. You can always ask a seller for concession. So I just kind of curious of what the conversation was to steer you from an FHA and then put you over into a 203K. I just kind of want to know how that kind of came about.
Deandra, in other words, where we're going with this is like the FHA is an FHA. So the 203K loan is an FHA. But I like this idea. You're out there trying to find a house. You can't get an offer accepted. Your credit score is low. You're an FHA buyer. Then you turn back and you say, maybe I'll buy the house I've been renting. What is the value of the house you're renting? What is that house worth as it sits today? Okay. Now that's pretty close. So anyways, you can get up to 110%. So again, let me give you an idea. If your house is fixed up and those houses are all selling for whatever it is, 160. Well, you could go, 16,000 over that. So you could get a new mortgage up to 176,000. You never want to over improve for a neighborhood. Deandra, truthfully, I think you need us in your life, because I don't think the information you're getting is all 100%. Like to take a look at your credit, see what you qualify for, maybe get you back on the path to home ownership. The 203K loans, we'll tell you, they're awesome. But in today's marketplace, as we were talking off the air, it's hard to find a contractor, Harry Glanz. It's hard to get people to get the work done, get the contractor. You need quotes. They got to be licensed and insured. And they don't really want to mess with these smaller projects. These are typically $10,000 to $35,000 projects. Really hard to get the workers out there.
Yeah, you need a licensed certified 203K consultant. You just can't go out and hire somebody off the street. And listen, it's rough to get somebody right now anyways, because home improvement is going through the roof. If you go through any Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards parking lot, Harvey, like we kind of do that every weekend because it's just entertainment value for us. But even getting a contractor out there, it takes a long time. Material prices are up, things are sky high, but you really have to do your homework. And we're getting a little bit mortgage geeky, 203K, what's that, and all that kind of stuff. But bottom line is that you have to do your homework. And I think you're right. He needs some different people on his team because the information, it just sounds a little bit funky to me.
Yeah, a little scattered out there. And again, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you got to make a few extra calls to get the right people involved in your life. 248-539-9797. We'll take all those calls here. Again, Kirsten Kroh joins us. And if you're looking to buy a house out in the Livingston area, Livingston County area, really, Kirsten handles all Tri-County, but really, that's her area of expertise. This is who you want to call. Give us a call here or call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. We'll set you up with her great team. And again, getting out there and looking at the houses and seeing the availability, the inventory, it's a little sticky now. Kirsten, we talked earlier in the show about it. Maybe there's a few extra houses, maybe a little bit less competition, maybe not 40 offers, only 20 offers you're going against. What else have you seen out in the marketplace that could change, or is there anything out there that you saw for young people that they're saying, you know what, I need to keep going west. They need to keep moving so they can find a house that's affordable?
Yeah, so I'm from the South Lyon area, but we moved out to Pinckney. And when we purchased our home out in Pinckney, we got it for a heck of a lot less than what they're selling for now. So the equity in my house is double and then some. So that's the thing, like as you keep moving out, you're going to get more bang for your buck. But those areas are just continuing to grow as well. So when I say moving out, I'm talking like the Howell area, even Fowlerville, and we just keep going out and out. Fenton, those areas are awesome areas, beautiful areas, rural areas that were cheaper, that are getting a bit more expensive. But if you want the rural area and you want to be in the Brighton or South Lyon, I would highly recommend looking towards, going out further, going towards the Howell, going towards Fowlerville, stuff like that, Stockbridge, because those areas, they're definitely up and coming, and you can get more bang for your buck there with these people looking for property and stuff like that.
No, 100%. Becky, she said it, the rural development loan just always plugs in our mind because what a great opportunity to talk about another zero down. Okay, you didn't serve in the military. That's okay. There's still opportunities for out there. Zero down USDA loans. Give us a little bit on that, Beck.
Yeah, so when it comes to USDA, the property, not only do you have to qualify, but the property has to qualify. So there's certain, little pockets in these areas, and some of them are not even it doesn't necessarily have to be considered rural, right? But it can be, there's a little bit of a pocket. We get the address, we're going to look and see if it qualifies for USDA, and then we're going to qualify you as the buyer. Now, everyone in the house, it's a very, there's a lot more moving parts. It's not cookie cutter. You either fit in the box or you don't. The property either fits in the box or you don't. But it allows you to get into this house with a zero down payment. That doesn't mean zero out of pocket, right? But if you have someone like Kirsten that can negotiate some concessions for you, you could potentially get into a new home with all that space, all that land that you're looking for with minimum out of pocket because it was a USDA and your credit qualifies. So it's just a matter of starting that conversation. And if those are the areas that you're looking in, well, let's talk about it because you just never know what's going to fit you, right? And even with the FHA, we were talking about like the specialty programs, right? I felt like there was a little bit of FHA hate out there, right? It was like, you had to be a conventional buyer or you're going to get passed on. And I feel like with this little bit of push of inventory, I'm seeing more and more of our FHA buyers getting approved. And I even have one where I had to speak to a selling agent because from the time I pre-approved them and when I got this accepted offer, some things had changed. And I identified the issue right away. And I actually got on the phone with the listing agent and helping the buyer's agent. And we were negotiating concessions on an FHA offer. So the FHA offers are not being passed on. These specialty programs like USDA, VA, they're not going to get passed on because people want to sell their houses. And some of them have had offers that were accepted and some of them fell apart because the buyers had remorse because they went so much above the asking price. They felt uncomfortable and they, decided they don't want to pursue this transaction anymore. So sometimes, like we've talked about before, being that second, third person in line sometimes puts you in a better position. So that way you're not out, paying too much for a home and you're in a negative situation, a negative equity situation the next 2 years.
Look, I want to move to where Kirsten is with her young family. If I'm your age, Kirsten, I'm 25 to 40 years old, and that with growing up with young families in the same community, that's what it's all about. We talked about some interesting things, the golf course buyers out there. We talked about the site condo buyers out there. And then, of course, getting to some rural development where, again, if you don't want a 30, 40,000 over what's going on in that neighborhood and empty out your pocketbooks, maybe moving out, having a little guts, doing something a little uncomfortable, maybe moving out of your comfort zone a little bit further west, where those areas in development in those areas and cities are going to start really growing. Cheaper taxes sometimes and a lot of other advantages. When we come back, we got tons to share with you. 248-539-9797. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always call us live here in the studio, 248-539-9797. We'll help save you money. If you want to refinance your mortgage, call Capital Mortgage Funding. Get the 1-800 low rate. That's right. The guaranteed low rate, low closing costs, and deal with the real professionals. Mortgages nowadays are closing in about 30 days or less. Again, whether or not you need an appraisal, whether or not it's a cash out refinance or a rate and term refinances, those are the differences. Don't be sold some bag of you know what, because you're listening to people that are just trying to treat you like a number. We do not do that at Capital Mortgage Funding. Be treated like a human. 1-800 low rate, the best mortgage banker. I got it all out. Fair enough.
Well, wait, hey, Harvey, we listen. You got it all out, but I have to add. We've been on the radio for over 22 years. We've been in business for over 30 some years. You know, it amazes me. We, in our business as insiders, we can't get out of our own way. We'll go on TV and on the radio and say, we can close in 8 days, 2 days, 1 day. Hey, Detroit Dragway, Sibley at Dick's. Hey, no, stop that. Please stop it. You don't know if you can get an appraisal waiver. We don't know until we run it through the system. So when somebody says, hey, we might be able to close without an appraisal, well, the key word is might. Don't go for the advertising clickbait. Okay, please don't do it. Call us. We'll let you know. The same people that got you in trouble are the same people that are going to get you in trouble again.
That's right. They were the bad people. Hey, 248-539-9797. We are going to take a call. Want to throw this out there? The state of Michigan, we want to thank Carl Levin, Senator Carl Levin, Capital Mortgage, any of the people here listening. Of course, we send the love to the family. He served 36 years in the U.S. Senate in the state of Michigan. We owe him a big gratitude. So there it is to Carl Levin and his family out there. Job well done, sir. And thank you for your service to this country. Let's move on to a call. 248-539-9797. Austin out in Sterling Heights. You got an appraisal question. Go ahead. All right. Yeah. Becky, I'll let you go ahead.
I mean, it just depends on, appraisers we are seeing those appraisal order times take a little bit longer. I feel like the appraisers are getting a little bit backed up. So what could, they'd be out there in 2 days. I feel like some of them are taking them five days. But at this point in time, during the appraisal process, your lender or whoever you're working with should be reaching out just to make sure that you have turned in all of the financial documents that you need to, right? You want to make sure that if you're going to be doing a gift or, you're pulling from your 401k, these are the things that are moving behind the scenes. So that way, while you're waiting for this appraisal to come in, you can actually get your file into underwriting. And therefore, by the time the appraisal comes back, you already know what you need to work on. And then you just need this appraisal and you can just, close it super fast. I mean, so it's all about timing. And, it's all about just making sure you're getting that communication from your lender, because it sounds like you guys are on it. You're going to be Johnny on the spot, whatever they need, you're going to get it. So it's just a matter of making sure you're reaching out. They're reaching out, especially to make sure that if there's anything outstanding, you're jumping on it.
And then Austin, also, you got that homeowner's insurance, right? You're working on that, or did you already get it done? All right, look, I need you as my client, buddy. I mean, I
was going to say, I can tell he's on it.
Me too.
Yeah, we will take a client who's very organized, and it sounds like you're, obviously you've done this. Did you do this before? Are you first time homeowner? Where did you gather your information and learn? Obviously you sound a little bit sharper than everyone out there. So where did you learn? Did you read about this? How did you learn about this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. And real couple more questions, Austin, because you're a great guy to have on the phone. And when you made these offers, did you get bid out on some other houses, and this was the third or fourth offer? Well, give us a little. Congratulations, man. I don't have any, I got a million questions for you, but I just want to wish you congratulations. And that's how you get it done the right way. And it sounds like you got a good team too. Hey, we're not the only great team out there, but definitely one of them. Be sure to call us at Capital Mortgage Funding. And thanks for the call, Austin. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. And again, you'll get that same type of treatment. Austin got a good team, but he also has some good people in your life. Harry, nothing wrong with having some peers up there, some parents, some uncles, aunts, and friends that have gone through this the right way.
Yeah, I think seeking wise counsel is always the best way to go in Harvey. The main thing that I learned from Austin is that, he stuck with it. They stuck with it. They didn't give up. They stuck with it. They kept doing their homework. They stayed informed. And then most of all, they were prepared when the time came. You got to be prepared. So I love that call. It's one of the best calls we've had in a while. So congratulations to Austin and his family.
Kirsten, let's go back to you. We're getting closer to the end of the show. And again, we're going to have Pat Caputo coming up with sports social commentary, Tiger baseball later today. Did Mickey almost hit a grand slam to take the lead last night? Well, maybe it's tonight. So again, keep it on 97.1 for all the action. Dan and Jim later in the afternoon. And maybe actually, I don't even know the lineup. It's Dan for sure, though. He's looking at me. I don't know. We got Tiger baseball, though, for sure. It's going to be awesome. All right. Kirsten, give us some last words here. We're up against the end of the show. We know constructions have been picking up, especially where you, your area, your backyard, your farm area, they call it, building permits. Are you, we lost her. Oh, we just lost you off the phone. So let me say goodbye on behalf of Kirsten. All right, you got Kirsten Kroh on from Keller Williams. We lost our audio portion here, but we'll definitely have her back. And anyone out there who's looking to buy a home in that area, anywhere in Livingston County, call her team. She's a professional. She lives out there. And you parents out there, you got to get your kids to call Kirsten because she knows the area. Her and her husband were willing to take that step and go a little bit further west. They bought a house. Now they've got a ton of equity in it. And that's what it's all about, home ownership. Becky Alley.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and even with that call that we just had with Austin, right? He did his due diligence. He had great, advice. He's got his ducks in a row. But then you have the people that are the opposite of that, right? Where maybe they're not as organized, right? So you need to heed the advice of the professionals, right? You do not want to be moving money at the 11th hour when you're trying to close within 30 days. So there's a reason why your lender, your real estate agent, there's a reason why they're telling you need to do these things. And we're here to help throw you over the finish line. But if you're opening new debt when you're trying to get a clear to close and something comes back, because it will get flagged that you open new debt, that is going to delay your closing. So just don't be a self-sabotager. If you think you shouldn't do it, you probably should not do it. And then if you have a question, call us and we'll say, no, don't do it. Or yes, that's okay. I mean, you can't ask enough questions when you're going through this, whether it's the first time, the fifth time, because not everything is the same.
Kirsten, you're back on the air with us. Along the way, I've made some financial mistakes. You learned the hard way, but we've already learned the hard way. We can help families save money and get it done the right way. Yes,
we sure can. So just ask. There's no dumb question or anything, especially because this is what we do every day, right? You guys are the mortgage professionals. I'm the real estate professional. So if somebody doesn't do this every day, some people say, gosh, I'm sorry to ask such a stupid question. Like, there is no stupid question. You don't do it every day. And this whole real estate thing changes every day. So no, there's no dumb questions for sure.
Harry Glantz, wrap us up.
Yeah, everybody out there, be prepared. Talk to the people that are going to give you the accurate information versus inaccurate. Disseminating accurate versus inaccurate information is the key. Also, please get your pre-approval and never, ever, ever skip an home inspection.
Well, of course, I'll wrap up the show with a lot of good information to refinancing. Again, the window is wide open again with an opportunity to really drop the term. And that's one of the things we see. Families are able to save so much money and build wealth. You have equity in your home now. It's unheard of equity. The families that bought years ago didn't have it. And if any family that bought after this recession that we had, probably after 2010, 11, 12, you're sitting on a bundle of equity. See if you can use that equity to do a true debt consolidation loan. They're very easy. Don't be afraid to make that phone call. And when we do those loans for you and we add money to your mortgage, we don't want your house to be a piggy bank, but we drop the term down and you can really set your family up for success. Amortization charts are wonderful to look at. I've been sending more and more of them out to clients. Take a look at that 15 and 20-year mortgage. Get off of that 30-year mortgage you have and find out how you can save money by calling. Call us first at 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, the best mortgage banker. All right, I see Pat Caputo. He's over there. He's working out over there. He's getting ready. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll see you next Saturday.